welcome. Media Men Online, I'm Dan, this is Isaiah.
What's up?
We'll start with some news as always. We have our question of the week, what we've been up to this week, and then we'll give a preview for next week. I don't know if you've been here, the usual, we'll call it. Peacemaker Season 2 gets a release date.
Yep.
August 21st.
And they dropped a trailer as well, which looks pretty good. I think we talked about this when we first started the channel, and it's what really sold me that it's just like, okay, yeah, John Cena's the best actor wrestler turned actor by far.
Yeah.
Because he's got that, like, range for sure, like emotional range and stuff, and it takes this character where they could so easily just make it like, you know, super like one side political bad type thing, but they don't really do that with him. It's, you know, they kind of give him the layers to show that, hey, it's not all black and white, there's good and bad with everything. And I think they really I don't know, it's surprising because it could have so easily gone in the direction that so many Marvel TV shows go in.
Yep.
But
yeah, and it definitely toes that line at times. But
yeah,
with John Cena, the guy, I think that professional wrestlers will have the easiest transition. They're on live TV every week, acting essentially, and they're doing their own stunt work. So these kind of guys, that's why it's such an easy transition. But he is, to me, now it's personal opinion, but he is the best wrestler turned actor, like, across the board.
Yeah. And
there have been some good ones. I don't particularly enjoy Dwayne's movies a lot, but he's a very good actor. So whether his roles are, are good or not is a different story.
I feel like he's kind of fallen off the board a little bit recently. Yeah. It's just like, hey, I'm going to do the same thing, and I can't ever be the butt end of a joke, and I can never lose, or any of all that BS stuff.
Did you ever see the movie with him and Sean William Scott where they're stuck in the jungle?
No. Oh, is that Jungle Cruise? Or?
Oh no, God no! The Jungle Cruise is one of the worst damn movies I've ever seen.
Pretty bad. But I just, if you want to just know like how good John Cena is, in the show they wrote that scene of him playing the piano into the thing because I guess whenever he's off shooting a movie, he's like, I always want to learn a new skill set. Yeah. And he was learning to play the piano, so James Gunn was like, all right, yeah, let's put that in the movie, because, you know, you can...
Apparently he knows Chinese now, too.
Yeah.
So, what the hell's in it? It's going to really bother me. I guess I should have looked up Sean William Scott, because he has far fewer movies. But it is a fantastic movie. It's when he didn't take himself too seriously.
Yeah, I mean, he's really fun in the early Fast and Furious movies, because it's just like, you know, just super silly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. For the love of Christ, what is the name of this movie? Please, anyone in the comments, bail me out.
You could just like type in like Sean William Scott, Dwayne Johnson movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that would pop it out.
The Rundown. This is an absolutely fantastic movie.
2003.
Sean William Scott is a rich boy, kind of pompous jerk. His dad's rich, so he just kind of does whatever he wants. And Dwayne Johnson is tasked with going and finding him and bringing him back. It has comedy, also Rosario Dawson and Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this movie, actually, let's watch this movie and we'll talk about it next week. All right, back to what we were talking about. If you haven't seen Peacemaker Season 1, go check that out, because Cena, of course, is fantastic. And it's one of those that's such a goofy-ass character that when you see it, you're kind of like, what is this? But John Cena makes it work.
I mean, I'd also say, like, that's just kind of what James Gunn is really good at, is taking characters you wouldn't think really work. You know, I mean, he did that first with Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's just like, how is this going to be a successful movie? And it's one of Marvel's most successful now. And it's like, he's good at doing that, and it's just more good stuff. I don't know.
Shaquille O'Neal, by the way, is a partial owner in DC now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And James Gunn and someone else. I remember the other guy, but
Peter Safran.
check out Peacemaker. We'll probably talk at least about the first episode.
Yeah, probably do like a first episode, mid-season check-in, finale.
Yeah, maybe do a season 1 recap first, just to kind of get it in there. Another release date, Nobody 2, is August 15th.
Movie that I did not think we'd be getting.
Yeah. I did watch the trailer. I didn't know there was one, but to keep it spoiler-free for people who... I mean, a lot of people have seen the first one. $57 million off of a $16 million budget.
Deserved. I think it was my first movie post-COVID I saw.
Yeah.
Because like Movie Tavern opened up and had this movie playing, and I was like, I don't know what the heck this movie Nobody is, but I want to see it.
But you like Saul Goodman, so
yeah. So I was like, I want to see a movie in a movie theater, and I sat down and I remember leaving like, wow, that was actually really good. Yeah. Like, what?
The trailer makes it. The trailer just kind of has a reason. It has a reason for being, is what it's easy for me to say, I guess. But if you haven't seen the first one, go and watch it. Was Christopher Lloyd? Oh yeah, he's the dad. Okay.
Yeah. Is RZA like the sniper friend?
He was the guy. Yeah, he was the guy on the phone in the first one.
Michael Ironside. I always love seeing him. He always pops up in like these weird projects, but he's always super enjoyable no matter what he's in. Wait, who was he in Late Night with the Devil?
The narrator.
Oh, okay. That makes sense now. But yeah, cool. He was in a movie that I can't remember the name of, but it was like some indie movie made on like a $2,000 budget. Super fun, and it's just like he's the guy where it's just like he's in all these small things that you never would that you wouldn't expect to get a big name from, and so you might say that he's always reaching down, but I think it just shows how passionate he is about movie making, and I always love seeing him in stuff.
Absolutely. This is kind of a funny, quick one, but HBO Max changed to Max, then they changed their logo from purple to black, and now they're changing back to HBO Max because everyone has called it HBO Max anyways.
Yeah.
So,
again,
it's just a little fun one. Could this be more than just a name
less
change?
Than 2 years ago is what I said. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, everyone. It's like Twitter. Just change it back to Twitter, please. Like that's what everybody calls it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think with Twitter it makes sense though because Twitter has such a bad stigma attached to it.
But I feel like X is
X is a stupid name because now
better
because it's a common like Twitter is a unique word. Yeah. X, you have to say X platform. That's what Elon Musk
X
calls
gonna give it to you.
Yeah. All right, little DMX action here. But yeah, HBO Max coming back, and I think it's a great idea because why would you remove the thing? I get that it's more than just HBO stuff, but why would you remove the thing that makes you famous?
Yeah, it's like HBO, I feel like has such a good stigma to it when it comes to like quality TV shows. I know Game of Thrones had its weird ending there that nobody liked, but still like when you think of like high quality TV shows, you usually think HBO Max or just HBO.
Yeah. You know what HBO stands for?
It's like home broadcast or something broadcasting.
Home box office.
Home box office.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about this for some reason.
It looks dumb. All right.
Ironheart, the trailer dropped, and apparently this movie is supposed to come out in 2023.
Is it a movie or a
series? It was supposed
to be a movie, and then they changed it. Or I think it was supposed to be a show, then they changed it to a movie. Now they're changing it back to a show.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The villain looks so like $2 thrift shop costume.
They went to Ross Dress for Less for the outfit. It looks so bad, but the thing that Marvel will always have going for them is the lowest common denominator is so easily manipulated. There are so many people on X.
Yeah.
Going, oh, this looks amazing.
Well, did you see what they had at the beginning of it? It's like produced by Ryan Coogler, the guy who did Black Panther. Where it's just like they don't name the director at all. They just got to stick Ryan Coogler's name on there because people liked Black Panther. And it's like,
and that movie.
And this, what the heck is this image here? We're getting back CGI Robert Downey Jr. or something? Please no.
Yeah, And it looks terrible.
I'd say it looks pretty. It literally looks like they just cut it in from something else. I don't know.
I mean, look at the graphics on it. It looks like a cartoon.
Well, this isn't from the actual trailer. Like,
this isn't?
No, look, this is some weird video because the actual trailer is like 2.5 minutes long. This is just the random images that people are throwing together, actually, is what it looks like.
This is from the actual trailer, though, and it looks terrible.
No, I think this is from Black Panther 2, right? And that's
this? I've never seen that.
I think this was in Black Panther 2.
Ironheart official trailer, Marvel Studios.
When did this come out? Because that's not from Marvel. Like, this looks like a fake trailer.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, yeah, TS Studios.
It's a fake trailer.
He's rotten.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And you know what, though? The trailer looks so bad that you believed that that was the trailer for it. Yeah, it's that first one.
For the love of Christ.
Yeah, because it was...
I better not play too much of this.
Yeah,
Disney will come after me.
I was like looking and I was like, man, I wanted to stop watching this trailer like 30 seconds into it. And I'm like, this is a 2-minute, 47-second trailer. What the heck? And like, not funny at all. In the end, they tried to be funny and it's not funny at all. I don't know. It's
kind of embarrassing, honestly.
I was like, look, we just like, I'm just hoping that they put a lot of money into this project. And even though it's obviously gone through so much trouble to the point where you technically shouldn't be releasing it, they're just like, okay, we're gonna throw it out there because we already put money into it. That's what I'm hoping this is, because I don't know, I wanted Thunderbolts to be a step in the right direction. I don't know, if this is a TV show especially, I don't care about their TV show stuff. No. I think they've actually said starting like next year or so, all the TV shows will be like Elseworlds their own stuff now, not tied in, because people have been complaining that in order to understand the movies, you have to watch all these TV shows. That's why I thought like Thunderbolts did a good job with it, but still it could be slightly confusing because almost all the characters in that are like from different or from like TV shows that people didn't watch.
TV shows or movies that people skipped.
And it's like they did a good job of being like, okay, it doesn't matter where they're from, it's all about like who they are now and what they've become, which worked. But there's other things like The Marvels, where it's like, hey, you don't watch this movie and this TV show and this TV show, and you're gonna have no idea what's going on with these characters. Whereas think of like back with like Avengers, it's like, you know, you were watching each movie that came out because there's like what, 2 a year? That's it. Your only homework was 2 movies a year. Remember those good old days?
You didn't. Yeah, even if you didn't after the first... Yeah. Leading up to the first Avengers, all you had to do was watch Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Captain America 1, and Thor 1. Yeah. Or just watch the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, like you wouldn't get as much out of it, but it's...
need it.
It's better than, okay, going into Doomsday, you're going to need Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, you're going to need Fantastic Four, you're going to need Thunderbolts, you're going to need the Marvels, you're going to need Captain...
Thunderbolt? I don't think you need Thunderbolts, so...
I don't know, I'm just trying to say... They said, well, they say that they're returning in Doomsday, so I'm assuming you need to know the history of those characters. But yeah, like, you need to know, watch, you know,
the time
Loki.
Commitment, and here's another thing: if they're actually going to stick to that and say that they're Elseworlds characters, then what you can do is make your own little universe with these crappy characters, female Thor, female Iron Man, all that stuff, and just make them. Don't connect them to the movies at all.
So that's what they're planning on doing, like the What If series, how that's just kind of its own thing.
And just kind of leave it there.
Yeah, that's what they're going to lean more towards into, is just like the What If style thing. Like they have the Marvel Zombies TV show that's coming out soon. They just released that Spider-Man TV show that has nothing to do with any of the Spider-Man stuff. I guess that's going to be their future for TV shows.
Spider-Man TV show? Is it going to be Miles Morales?
No, did you not? Oh, wait, no. You don't know they came out with a TV show like 3-4 months ago called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
No.
And it's you can look at it. It has a different guy playing Spider-Man, and Norman Osborn is let's just say he's looking darker than he normally does.
No, I never heard of it.
Yeah,
Is it a cartoon?
Yeah, click on images. Watch that. You look at some of the picture stuff.
This?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can see that one there. Like that's it. That's
this
Nico.
Is it right here?
Yep, that's Nico, whatever the heck her name is from the Runaways.
That looks terrible.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it had Daredevil in it, but it was its own story though. So that's the thing.
Just kind of do your own thing with that crap and just.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the idea. You can completely skip out on this TV show, and you're not going to be behind on the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all. It's its own thing.
But also, it'll let you have free range because you can just burn Disney's money with this crap, and then just, if you want to make money, you can't put this nonsense like Riri Williams in the MCU. It's not going to make any money.
I mean, better Iron Man. That's what you meant to say, right?
Yeah. I mean, even the name itself, Riri, is just so terrible. All new, all different Avengers was probably the worst thing Marvel has ever done. But they did this so that they could all new, all different. They did this so that they could add the characters to the movies without people saying, "Oh, you're just changing it just for the sake of changing it." This is what they did. So all these characters, this was back in 2015.
I like Nova. That's about it.
But they didn't even make Nova regular Nova. They changed.
Oh, that's a different Nova.
Yeah. But Nova was Marvel's response to Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. Nova's like a galactic space force.
Yeah, they turned him into... I mean, the one complaint I have from Guardians is Nova is like the Nova Corps now, and it's just like there's no single person.
So this, knock off Captain America, knock off Iron Man, knock off Miss Marvel, knock off Spider-Man, knock off Thor, and knock off Nova. The only one who was a regular character was Vision. Because
that wasn't Viv? Vision's daughter?
They couldn't change it. No. I don't believe so. But yeah, they did this back in 2015 just to, really screw everything over. So yeah, that's not regular Tony Stark right there.
What? I couldn't tell at all.
Yeah, terrible. All right, so let's move on. We could probably dunk on Marvel for the next hour, but
yeah.
Our question of the week is, what is the best series finale? We talked on previous week about the worst. I think it was last week.
Yep.
So we'll start with yours.
All right. One of my first ever anime I watched. I won't get too much into the show itself. Just that it's kind of a mech anime, but it's not like the core part of it. It's more about deception and weird other stuff going on. There's an episode in the second season that broke me like emotionally. Or like I remember just like taking a picture of the screen so I could remember like this is I felt empty. I had used up all my anger, sadness, like everything was drained from me. Yeah. And there's a quote in this show, if you know, you know, it's I command you not to die line that like gets me every time.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I feel like the second season, like the last couple episodes starts to drag a little. I still consider this show like a 10 out of 10, or this season at least a 10 out of 10 because of everything else. But also on top of that, because of the ending. I won't spoil the ending to the show, but I will say that it is I always say this is the perfect ending to anything ever, where they wrap up everything nicely. What happens makes sense. It feels like that this is what the show has been building up to this entire time. You know, it fits in with the theming of the show. It doesn't go off in a random different direction. And it's just, I can't really say anything besides perfect without spoiling it. But like, if you've seen the ending, you'll know what I'm talking about with like how it ends. Yeah. And then they have this nice final scene that plays. And there was never another season of this show after season 2. That's it. There was never a season 3 or anything that would ever ruin the ending, okay?
By the way, this is one of the best, at least up to that point, is one of the best series of all time.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't seen Code Geass, please.
Yeah, I need to rewatch this sometime. I want to rewatch it with somebody who hasn't seen it. Because it's like, that first episode, especially if you can go into this show not knowing anything about it, do that. Sometimes I have to give away the premise a little bit to hook people into it. But if you can go into the show blind just thinking it's a mech anime, great. Go into it like that and then be surprised at the end of the first episode. But I think the first season, the reason why it's only like a 9 out of 10 for me is because the season's really good. But I don't think it became amazing like the 10 out of 10 thing until like the last 3 episodes of the first season where that twist happens. Because that's when the show really like grabbed me. Then like I think this is like first 10 anime I ever watched as well, by the way.
I mean, your first one was Attack on Titan, wasn't it? So
my first one was Attack on Titan. And then I watched a bunch of shows that had Bryce Papenbrook because obviously I was like, oh, this guy's pretty great. And then I really liked Johnny Young Bosch. So since he voices the main character for the dub for this one, I started watching it, and it's just like, you got Yuri Lowenthal voicing the secondary main character there. I think it's Suzaku is the guy's name. They're really good. I feel like I liked it as much as I did then, but I feel like I'd appreciate it even more now, having all my anime experience and kind of knowing what I know about the genre now. Because it's kind of like, one of my first 10 anime was Fooly Cooly, which is not an anime you should watch if you're not into anime because it's so weird and out there. Same thing with like Kill la Kill. I still haven't finished that because it was just too out there for me when I first watched it, even though people say it's one of the best anime ever. So I was like, I need to go back and rewatch this.
3x3
for Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Is like, I think I just didn't get it at the time when I was watching. It was too out there for me,
Yeah.
As a newbie to anime.
Yeah. All right. So this is a bit of a different one, but my best ending for a series is Castle. Now, if you want to just talk about the very final moments, we talked a little bit about Breaking Bad last week. The ending of the last episode of Breaking Bad is too fantastic not to mention.
Mm-hmm.
But Castle is Nathan Fillion is a rich man's who's playing Reed Richards again?
Pedro Pascal.
Is a rich man's Pedro Pascal. Like, if you want a good version of Pedro Pascal, you watch Nathan Fillion. But he is a charming, witty, somewhat douchey character in this. He's a writer, and he's working with... He knows the mayor, so he gets in with the NYPD. And there's a will they, won't they with Stana Katic's character the entire time. 173 episodes. There's a will they, won't they for probably
so Alexis
120.
So Alexis Castle is not his wife.
No, it's his daughter.
Okay. Because I was like, I thought I was like, wait a second, because I just saw that and I was like, oh, okay.
But when the series starts, she's probably 12.
Oh wow, and that's just what she looks like today, then.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Oh, okay.
So she's the daughter. Very, very fun character. But the entire time, will they, won't they, all that kind of stuff. Mixed in with overarching series plots, overarching seasonal plots, but it's mostly just a kill of the week type of thing where they investigate the most recent death. So it's one of those series you can just pop on and kind of enjoy episode by episode. Some of the overarching things like the triple X killer, something like that. You won't really get why Beckett is so obsessed, but neither here nor there. So I am going to spoil the ending of this because it doesn't make any sense for me not to. They live happily ever after. They have 3 kids together. What a concept. So all this whole time you think, that maybe they'll switch characters, like maybe they'll drop Beckett from the series, that kind of thing, but they end up together. Everyone lives happily ever after, including the Esposito and Ryan. Those are the other 2 detectives that are in with them. So they all survive. They show at the end of the end episode, you think that they've blown up in this sort of trap that the main villain has set, but it shows them 10 years later or whatever with 3 kids, everyone's alive, and they kind of play with you a little bit and think, wait, is this the afterlife and Castle's just imagining this? No, everyone's all good. It's a mushy, happy ending to kind of a series that may have lasted a few episodes too long. 173 is a lot. I think it's 9 seasons, so whatever that math is, almost 20 episodes a season.
Yeah, I've never seen this show, but it's a show where I recognize the name because I've heard people talk about it.
It's fun enough to just, if you pop on a random episode in the middle of any season, you're gonna get it. They recap, in the beginning of every episode, they give a little recap. Oh, I'm a writer. I work with the FBI or with the NYPD. They kind of do a little thing, so you never have to really follow every episode because that's not what it was designed for.
It's like the opening to Wow, this a reference for you to do, but like the Fugitive TV show, where they'd open every episode with, my name's Richard Kimball, and I
didn't know they had a.
Oh yeah, so the movie's
Jesus
based off of an
Christ.
old TV show, and they start every episode with like, my name's Richard Kimball. They blame me for killing my wife, and I'm searching for the one-armed man, and like that's like the
Basically
opening to every
that.
single episode.
Yeah, where you just kind of get the gist of what you're going to be into. So literally, just watch any episode. You don't have to commit to the whole thing, and the characters are charming and enjoyable, and the ending is what you want out of an ending. Between two characters you spend 173 episodes with. So
yeah, I do want to quickly mention a runner-up for me, and maybe this will lead into something that we'll talk about in the future, but Lost, I think, has one of the best season or series
I
finales.
still haven't finished that last season. Holy
Yep, and I super duper don't want to spoil that. It's very divisive.
Yeah,
is the thing with that ending there, but I would love, once you do finish it, to talk about why I do really, really like that series finale and why it works perfectly for me.
Yeah. So let us know what your best series finale is, or series ending. However, the question was the best series ending. It doesn't even have to be the final episode, but let us know in the comments what yours would be. All right. We got a few movies we're going to talk about. Technically
first?
three and a half.
Okay. I am going to talk about this movie, Tetris, here. There's a little joke with a coworker of mine where I asked him to put this movie on the service that we use. Put it on, but then there's a lot of like non-English, or not a lot, because it takes place like, in Japan and Russia stuff. The subtitles weren't working, so I asked him to fix the subtitles. Took a little bit, but then I never finished the movie, and it's been like a year and a half. But I finally was like, you know what? I need to finish this movie. I've heard really good stuff about it. And so I sat down, I watched it all, and I think it might be the best movie I've seen this year, even though it didn't come out this year. So obviously it won't go on any ratings things, but it is really fun. It reminds me a lot about why I liked Blackberry. Now, I think I still prefer Blackberry over this movie because there's just some very minor things that I think Blackberry, the way that it approached it was slightly better, but it has the same approach of, we're not trying to do the actual documentary type retelling thing. It's, here's a crazy story that happened and we're going to super embellish and movify it. And that's kind of what they do here. Because I didn't really know like how crazy kind of the story of how Tetris became distributed worldwide, kind of how complicated and intense. And this is something I will say about Tetris, though. This story was far more interesting, I think, than Blackberry's story. Like, maybe also because I'm just very gamer brain coded, but like I just found so much of what they were talking about and the things that were happening super duper interesting. Taron Egerton, fantastic actor. I think he does a really good job and a great performance in this movie. I just found it funny because I saw a picture, and I actually saw like an interview of the guy that he's playing, Hank Rogers, and he not only looks like Ethan Hawke, but he sounds just like Ethan Hawke. So I was like, that would have been maybe a more interesting casting, because it's like he looks and sounds just like this guy. But for this movie version of what they were doing, not just trying to cast based off of looks and sounds, Taron Egerton crushes it really well. There's, I don't know, it's just like if you're ever wondering what the story was, this is definitely something worth watching. A more entertaining way of watching it than just reading a Wikipedia article about it. But it's super cool because they had a lot of input from the two people that this movie really is focused around. Hank Rogers, who is the guy who basically the guy who went out there and got Tetris exposed to the world, and then Alexei, the guy who actually created Tetris. Both of these people are still alive today, so it was kind of interesting after I watched it to look at like interviews with the two of them talking about the movie, talking about Tetris. I don't know, it's just super cool stuff. I highly recommend this movie. It's just under 2 hours. It doesn't feel that length at all, though, and it's definitely worth the watch, whether you're looking for a little bit of fun history or just a good thriller movie.
Nice. I have to put this on my list. Seen this yet? Okay. Sharp Corner. This is a new VOD release, and it's about a family, husband, wife, and son who moved kind of out to the countryside, and they moved to a sharp corner, meaning their house is on there's like this wicked turn. It's not a full turn, but it's a roundabout, but it's
like
a heavy
angle or something.
No, it's like round.
Oh, just like kind of.
But it's on this hard corner.
Kind of like where we're at right now.
Kinda. So the whole deal is people keep dying on this corner because they're going too fast, whether it be due to intoxication or whatever the case. And after the first time a car rolls onto their lawn and a tire flies through their window, the main guy here, Ben Foster, becomes absolutely obsessed with this corner. Now,
Colby Smothers? Jeez.
Yes. She's the wife.
Yeah.
So the whole gimmick is that we're trying to figure out if this guy is obsessed with death or obsessed with life. Does he goes to like a CPR class? Is he trying to save people, or is he trying to see people die? It's a very, very strange movie in that his wife leaves him. His kid goes with the wife. There's a lot of like open-ended questions by the end of the movie. He finds out that she's sleeping with his therapist, and then the movie we don't get any conclusion to that whatsoever. The movie just ends after he saves someone's life on the lawn and he's kind of got the smile on his face, but he'll spend hours upon end staring out the window waiting for someone to crash. Why? They never really say. It's an obsession that can cost him anything, is what we have in the synopsis, but is the obsession with people's death or being able to save someone, like trying to be the hero, and because he loses his job, he loses his family, like through this whole thing, because he doesn't want to move. Colby Smoller's character she's like, okay, let's get out of here after the first one, but he wants to stay.
I can't tell whether you liked this movie or not.
I don't know if I did either. And the movie ends so abruptly that it had me sitting there wondering what the hell they were going for. Because he saves this woman after cutting down the sign on the corner so that somebody would crash. It's very, very strange. And I just can't figure out. He cut down the sign and we never get any sort of like
weird.
It's such a strange movie, and I'm kind of humming and hawing because I don't know if it was good or not.
You talking about this though is, I'm not even joking when I say it's kind of so where I used to live, we were on a long stretch of road that would come right after a curve. It wasn't a sharp turn, but it was like 55, the road I lived on, so even just a slight turn, and we had a pole there. And we probably, over the course of the 20 so years I lived there, had like 15, 16 accidents of people crashing into that pole.
Wow.
We would constantly, not constantly, but, it'd be funny, not funny because people could get injured, but like we just see lights blinking outside our house all of a sudden. And we had a driveway that was like 500 yards long. So it's not like even like it's right outside our window. It would just be, they crash into this pole and it would knock our power out sometimes because that was our power line that would go out to our house.
Right.
And our mailbox was there. Our mailbox got taken out once. People would hit deer around that corner as well. And there was a couple times that there was a dead deer in our ditch out in the front. But yeah, no, it's weird.
And did you stare out the window?
Yeah, so I eventually started, was like, I need to make this happen. So I took all the blinking lights off the poles. That way they wouldn't see it when they were speeding around the corner.
There you go.
At night, That's all I can legally say.
Yeah.
But you just triggered that memory in my brain when you're talking about this movie.
It's well acted. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I like
it's an interesting concept. It's just so weird. and he's kind of like this quiet, reserved guy, so you never really understand fully what's in his brain. And Colby Smolder's character pissed me off because they're only there like a month before she's like, oh yeah, I'm taking the kids and we're leaving. It's not even like he was like out there just waiting every single day, and she just got so irritated with him. So I had this idea of, wow, she bailed quick on that marriage, huh? And then you find out that she's banging the therapist. So, but then you don't ever get any conclusion to that. It just bothers me that they ended it so quickly. I couldn't believe it when the credits hit. Real quick, I want to mention Clown in the Cornfield and throw some shade at my local theater, because I was going to see this Wednesday night, and usually the cycle of movies runs Thursday to Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
There was a showtime Monday at 7:40, a showtime Tuesday at 7:40. Wednesday, they took it away. Wednesday, not Thursday.
Yeah, they did this. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I just say, what are you doing? Thursday is the day that technically movies come out Friday, but they've always been doing this with the Thursday releases. Now they're doing
releases. Some early access stuff on Wednesdays.
But there was nothing now for Wednesday. If this was Mission Impossible release week, which is next week, then that's fine. But what's the big one this week? Final Destinations. There's nothing Wednesday I didn't see, but you got to give people that week. And it just came out Friday.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we're going to talk about the next movie too, where I wanted to see that movie, and it's not even available at all. No. I mean, it's cool that our theater is being redone, but like we were saying, like there's like 3 showtimes for Until Dawn, and it's like you couldn't get rid of one of those showtimes so you could put in this brand new movie at least for a week. This movie hasn't even been out a week, and it's not in theaters anywhere locally.
So I took I think it was 39-minute drive out to a non-chain. Well, they have 4 locations, but it's not one of the big chains. And I saw this movie, Fight or Flight. And I'm glad I took the drive, because it's quite good. And this movie theater was like a trip back in time. You know how at most theaters they have the digital card of what the movie is up on the top?
Yeah.
It'll say Fight or Flight, Theater 1, whatever. These ones had the physical ones where you have to
letters.
Put the letters in. They had this...
It's like the Landmark Theater.
Yeah. They had this old dude working there who took forever to put the popcorn in, but damn, he drenched that damn thing with the butter. Oh my God. It was so heavy. But even the larges were just bags, and like it had a really old school feeling, which I appreciated. But Fight or Flight, Josh Hartnett, famously from everything. Most recently from Trap.
Katie Sackhoff, I like her a lot as well. She's from Star Wars and stuff. She's one of the few good things from recent Star Wars.
That must be the main woman.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh, she's also in 24, I think, as well. But
the main woman is... What the hell's her name? Oh, it must be her. Yeah, she's the main gal in this. I've never seen Eternals, so I can't help you there. But so Fight or Flight.
Nobody did.
Josh Hartnett's character is an ex, I want to say Special Forces Secret Service member who was excommunicated due to a controversial situation involving one of the higher ups. And unfortunately, he was on the wrong side of, oh, well, the guy who the situation belongs to, his brother's the head of the CIA. So whether he was doing the right thing or not, he got screwed over, and he's been living in Thailand, just running because they've been hunting him down. They've been sending mercenaries and things after him. But there's a situation, there's this villain called the Ghost who the CIA can't find. There's barely even a trace of this person other than the damage they've caused throughout all these countries. And Josh Hartnett is the closest person to the Bangkok airport where all this is taking place. And the entire, I would say 70% of the movie takes place on a plane. This is Bullet Train meets Taken / John Wick meets Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It was like that non-stop movie with Liam Neeson.
No.
It was like they're both on a plane, like action plane movie still.
This is much more action based than nonstop. And Josh Hartnett's character has to find out who the ghost is. The gimmick is Josh Hartnett, if you are able to find this ghost and bring this person back alive, then we're gonna wipe your slate clean. That's how they convince him to do it. So it is almost disturbingly gory, which I did not expect. The first time someone's arm snaps the wrong way was actually quite shocking. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if people out there, if a guy's got a chainsaw and you have fists, aren't you going to regroup, or are you going to try and 1v1 this dude? What are you thinking? The people who fought him 1v1 when he had the chainsaw, they deserved what came to them out of sheer stupidity. But the movie's a lot of fun.
Like in Mandy.
Yeah. It's action based. It's insane. I was trying to make another comparison, but Bullet Train is probably because Brad Pitt does some. I was thinking back to when he kills that woman in
with the poison.
The poison. It's much more John Wick because there's a lot of villains. Why are there a lot of villains? Because the plane's filled with assassins who are tasked also with finding and killing the ghost. Now, there are intertwining plots as to why they're there, as to who sent them there. Why is Josh Hartnett being attacked? All that stuff. It is such a fun movie. It was worth the hour and 20 round trip. It was like a 7:10 showing, so I got back home at like 10. It's quite the drive. There's so much goddamn construction.
Oh yeah,
going out that way.
Yeah, everywhere you go.
Out to like towards Movie Tavern.
You're going north, right? Yeah.
West, going west, and
say 41
it's
north
just
is insane.
No, this is going towards Movie Tavern. So, well, you got to pass by it, but it's so ridiculous. It was nighttime, and it's the road. There were chunks taken out of it. So you're going along, it's dark out, and you do like a 6-inch drop into this rough road. Like, my heart was racing when it first happened.
It's because they're dropping that entire highway down, right?
It is a disaster out there.
So ridiculous.
And I was going to go see Clown in a Cornfield at Movie Tavern, but I'm like, I'm not going by that construction again. I was going to go yesterday. I don't know if it's still in theaters now, but yeah, I don't know what happened to Movie Tavern, but they used to have all of the available movies regardless of what they were, and now they're just going mainstream. Like, I saw this movie Fall. By the way, highly recommend this movie. Real quick, Fall 2022. Two gals get stuck at the top of this like radio tower. They're mountain climbers, and the whole thing is like a struggle for survival at the top of this thing. It's a lot of fun. And I saw that at Movie Tavern, but they don't do that anymore. It's just like, oh, we have 72 episodes of Thunderbolts. It's there tonight. I think I'm going to see Final Destinations instead. But anyways, if you get a chance, people out there within the sound of my voice, go and see Fight or Flight. It is definitely the best movie I've seen this week. It's not in my top 4 of 2025, but it's up there. All right. Last one for me. Limitless.
Is this the movie or the TV show?
This is the TV show. Okay. I didn't know there was a TV show, but it's based on a movie with Bradley Cooper. And it is very deceiving that they show Bradley Cooper as 22 episodes. The show lasts 22 episodes.
I say they do that thing where as long as they're billed like once for the season, they throw them all in. Because remember you asked me about that Lost where you're like, hey, Jack isn't in this many episodes, but he's still billed for all episodes. That's what's weird about
Bradley Cooper is in one episode.
Yeah, it's because he was in one episode, they'll bill him for the entire season.
Or he bills them for the entire season.
Sure, yeah. It's got Deborah Morgan in it.
The whole gimmick, I didn't realize Quinn was in it as well. But anyways, The whole gimmick is that there's a pill that unlocks the full potential of the brain. I would highly recommend the movie. The movie is quite good, and that stars Bradley Cooper. But the drug has side effects. When you're on it, you're like this mega brainiac. Unlocks the full potential. They say you only use 10 or 20% of your brain or whatever, and this drug is based on that theory, unlocking the full 100%.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper is in this, and he's running for Senate or president. I can't remember which one. But his same character is in it, and they found a way to circumvent the side effects with a monthly injection. So Bradley Cooper blackmails Jake McDormand's character because Jake McDormand is having the side effects after it wears off the first time he takes it. Bradley Cooper knows that. So he's like, I'm going to get you to do what I want, or I'm not giving you this monthly injection. So it's kind of based on that. He's kind of like a loser, screw-up guy, and we've all been there.
Yeah, how does it work as a TV show? Because I feel like it's a really good concept for a movie, but...
The TV show, Jennifer Carpenter is a CIA agent, and so the CIA, it's kind of an interesting concept. The CIA thinks he's immune to the side effects of the drug because they've been CIA knows about the drug, they've been testing it, but people have these horrible side effects and end up dying. But to their knowledge, there's something in his DNA which doesn't allow him to have the side effects, but they don't know about Bradley Cooper's monthly injection. So there's this whole thing where it's kind of like a twist up of lies and deception built into. He has to help out I said CIA, but it's FBI. He has to help out the FBI they give him one pill a day, and he has to help him out with that. So Bradley Cooper's blackmailing him. The FBI is using him, and nobody knows the other side exists. So it's kind of an interesting show. I looked up why it was canceled, and it said, they only had 10 million viewers by the time it was canceled. That's cancelable? What the hell?
Yep.
10 million people tuned into the show.
It was like when Dead Space 3 sold 3 million copies or something, and they're like, yeah, it undersold. It's like, you expected a niche horror franchise to sell as big as a Grand Theft Auto? What?
But 10 million people just to cancel it like that's a lot of people. And apparently it was on CBS, but it's on Paramount Plus right now is how I found it. It's good. It's like a 6.5 out of 10. It's solid. Seeing this was 3 years after the end of Dexter, so seeing Jennifer Carpenter again is fun, and the main guy, I don't know him from anything. Jake McDormand is pretty solid.
He's in Lady Bird. I heard good stuff about that. Who the heck was he in Live Free and Die Hard?
Doesn't say.
Nobody important, it looks like.
I forgot.
I always forget Justin Long is in that movie.
He's the second main character.
Yeah, I always forget it's Justin Long. He's in Shameless. Okay.
Well, to be fair, Kevin Smith sucks. I don't know how anyone ever found him interesting, but
well, he was interesting because isn't he? Does he not talk in the movies that he's in? Right?
Only Silent Bob, but
yeah, he doesn't talk at all. So,
but then people are like, "Oh yeah, he cries a lot on TV about." He's like Jimmy Kimmel in that sense, so we like him. But do I recommend it? There's a lot of other stuff out there, but it's all right. It's fine.
If you want to watch it, you won't be upset, is what you're saying?
It held my attention. I've watched 5 episodes, and it's good enough to keep me interested. But is it something I would say, well, if you haven't seen Breaking Bad yet, go watch Limitless instead? No, but it's in that mid-range. You're not going to be disappointed with it. Don't shoot the messenger if you're like, this is mid, because I'm telling you it's mid. It's a little bit above mid, but it's mid.
Alrighty, so this, I guess, last weekend, we finally got our first big look at the Final Fantasy crossover with Magic the Gathering. We had been drip marketed some cards here and there, but at PAX East, they had a whole 2.5-hour panel. Ben Starr hosted it, and they just were like, okay, we're going to go through every single Final Fantasy game and look at like a good 10 cards from each one, and then talk about a bunch of other stuff that has to do with the set. So I've been really getting into Magic recently, and I really like Final Fantasy. So I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like my thing. And yeah, it's really exciting. Not only because you get to see, you know, some really interesting Magic cards, but you get to see some really cool Final Fantasy crossover stuff. And as I was like kind of talking a little bit beforehand with Dan, it seems like whoever worked on the set gets Final Fantasy, where like it makes sense with each card, like with the character. Like for instance, there's this Zack one where it's like, you know, oh yeah, when he enters with a counter, and then when you can sacrifice him to put a token, or sorry, to put those counters and equipment onto another character. And he works really well in the Cloud deck, so it just makes sense thematically. And yeah, and then you get the Sid one here where it's the same card, but they have a different version of this Sid card for each Final Fantasy that he showed up in.
Which is all of them.
Yeah. Well, I think except for one, they said, because he only appeared in Final Fantasy 1. Oh. He's not in the original Final Fantasy 1. They put him in the remake they did of it or something. But I guess they just said they only have him for sets 2 through 16. They have Sid. But I mean, like, you got like probably the best Sid there. Yep, you have Absolute Virtue here from 11.
This is the if you know situation.
Yep. That's why I don't know, but I've seen so many memes of people doing the whole like, if they're like Magic players and Final Fantasy players, kind of
this
like meme
spell
format.
Can't be countered, and if anyone's fought Absolute Virtue, you know that that's the case.
Can't be countered, and you have protection from each of your opponents, which means you don't take damage from them. You can't be targeted by stuff or enchanted by things. That's like your creatures can still be targeted, but yeah, it's just like, yeah, swing at me. I take no damage. Go ahead, do it. And something cool that they actually released really recently, which I'll show you a little bit quickly on my phone unless you want to pull it up, but they revealed the secret layer Final Fantasy stuff they're doing. Mm-hmm. And it's super cool. And so like the promo they're giving out with each one, like each set, is this one here. It's just a Gilded Lotus, which lets you Jesus Christ, 18 hours to beat. That seems fun. Where it's just like, yeah, but yeah, the one I'm showing you right here is just kind of like a reprint, and it's just the flower from FF7. But then they have some cool stuff.
I can't search it, I don't think, on this website, but
if you just type in Final Fantasy Secret Layer, will not. Oh no, I was saying if you just type in Final Fantasy Secret Layer, maybe it'll show up all the
Final Fantasy Secret.
Yeah. Yeah, that first one there should show.
Anyways.
Yeah. You can see like the flower from it, from FF7, Gilded Lotus, and these are all just like cards that already exist, but with art from the new, or you know, from like Final Fantasy theming. So if you go down, they have the same thing here, where it's just like they have a different card and they have it in the little text there where it's like Star of something, but they rename it Meteor Fall and put Sephiroth on it. Oh, Star of Extinction, it says there.
That's pretty cool.
And they do cool stuff like that. And these cards are usually really good cards. So if you look at these, the theme of those ones are good removal. The next one is like really good, you know, spells in general that kind of feature some of the heroes on them. And then they have another one lower that I think is like equipment, and that's where like the Buster Sword is, which is interesting. Nice. But yeah, no, it's all super cool stuff. And the surprising thing is that it looks like that these are not going to have the jacked prices that, let's say, the Marvel ones did, where it's like for non-foil it's 40, for foil it's 50. These ones seem to have the normal pricing of non-foil is 30 and foil is 40, which wasn't expecting. But yeah, no, super cool. And I'm hoping that I can get some of those because the art is amazing. I mean, that's the big thing with these sets, which you'll notice if you look up some of the art, is they got like Tetsuya Nomura did some art for some of the cards. I think he did like the Yuffie one, because you know he's the character designer for FF7. And then they had I can never remember how to pronounce his name, but like when you think of like Final Fantasy art, like the cover art, they had that guy come in and do a lot of some cool artwork pieces.
Oh hell
for the game. Yeah, no, the Clive ones. That's what was on his shirt.
That's awesome.
And you can see the back of it is the middle one there on the right. But then you can see the middle left is they had the artist come in and did that for like Esper Terra from 6. Nice. Yeah, like he did a ton of cool. They just got him to come in and do a ton of art for some of these, and it's awesome. I don't know, it's like, I don't know, some people are weird about the Final Fantasy art where they're just like, oh, it just doesn't look good, and it's like, huh? It doesn't look, typical. That's what makes it so interesting and awesome to look at, is it has this very unique style where, I don't know, when I see that, I think Final Fantasy when I see that style.
Yeah, it's I don't know how people can't like it, but it is, especially that Esper one is
or you look at that
unusual.
The Kefka one that I showed you earlier too, where it's just like that one just looks so good.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna talk about this one next week. Actually, I think I'm gonna. I watched it yesterday, but I think I'm gonna watch it again. So it is a documentary based on the making of the original John Wick and kind of how the series came to be. This originally it was just this weird kind of indie situation, one that I never heard of. Actually, one of my Destiny buddies was like, "You never seen John Wick?" I'm like, "No, I don't know what the hell that is." But yeah, it's about 2 hours long and 126 minutes. There you go. It's very interesting. So I'm gonna rewatch it just to kind of, because I think on a rewatch, I'm just gonna kind of pick out the things that I thought were most interesting, rather than just saying, "Oh, it's a John Wick documentary." Tonight at 10 o'clock, I'm going to see Final Destination Bloodlines. Is it going to be good? Probably not. Is it going to be Final Destination?
Yeah.
Probably.
I've never seen a single Final Destination movie before. I know all about them, though, because, I follow all those channels like Dead Meat and stuff that I've seen these movies picked apart. So, I feel like I've watched them. That's how much stuff I've seen about them.
Anyone out there who's seen the second one knows exactly why you can't drive next to a truck that carries the logs.
Did you see some of the marketing they were doing for this movie?
No.
They would have trucks that had logs in them, and then it was just like a picture of it, but it'd be like Final Destination, and then they'd have like some real logs on top, and it'd just be like they are trolling people straight up. Yeah. But I do see that they do have Tony Todd. I think this is his last performance posthumously. Oh, because I think he's been in every single Final Destination movie, right? Tony Todd.
I have no idea.
He's kind of like the grave guy that they always go to and look for advice on how to beat it. But yeah, I know. I do think it's kind of interesting. I don't know your feelings. Spoilers for the trailer, unless you don't. Did you see the trailer for the Bloodlines at all?
I saw a trailer for this
where they talk about like how it's like, oh, all of the movies are because of this thing that happened.
Oh boy.
And that's what has me slightly worried. I think I might want to see this new one, but that seems kind of like the whole, well, the first movie only happened because sorry if this is slightly spoiling the movie, but this is literally in the one trailer I saw for the movie, where they're just like, oh yeah, the thing that happened on the plane from the first movie was actually because this guy's mom survived an event that happened at the Space Needle 30 years ago, and she survived death, so that's why it's like death has been out for these people because of that one event. Trying to do the whole, well, this is the thing that actually made all those movies happen, and it couldn't just be their own thing. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see. I'm sorry if I just ruined the movie for you. No,
I'm falling asleep over here because that's nonsense.
Yeah, I know, right? Because like the trailer showed like they're like 1960s, and they're up in the Space Needle, and she gets everybody out of the Space Needle and saves their lives. So they're saying like everybody who was like a descendant of those people that were there has been all the people from all the movies.
These Final Destination movies are similar to the Saw movies in that the first one is actually kind of done in an artsy kind of thoughtful way, and then the remaining ones, I think there are 5 before this one, are done in the way that it's just like a kill fest. So take that for what you will. I do recommend the first one. Quite interesting.
Third one had Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it. I think like one of her first ever roles. She was in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World as Ramona. It's the one with the roller coaster.
Is that the third one?
I think it's the third one.
Well,
they kind of go out there.
All right, and then a week from today at 2 p.m., I will be watching Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and I just can't be more excited for this. I saw on X, on the X platform, a post, not a tweet.
Movie's not even out yet, and it's got a 3.5 star.
Well, there were people who were giving it a standing ovation at I think it was the Cannes Film Festival, and it was absolutely packed. Imagine just getting to see that a week earlier. And I follow Jeremy Johns on YouTube, but I don't watch his reviews, especially on a movie I'm going to watch, until after I review them. So he had a Mission Impossible one drop, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Like, how are these people getting such early access? And then on top of that, how are they allowed to review it so early? Well, like, usually there's an embargo.
So I think that's why is the embargo dropped yesterday for the things, but they get like month early screenings of these movies.
Right, but the embargo should be when the movie releases.
Well, it's to get people hyped to buy tickets and see the movie.
But I think it kind of bothers me that the previous one didn't do as well as I thought it was going to.
Well, it's not even that the movie didn't make a lot of money. It was that it was against its budget, which was insanely high, right?
Deservingly so, but the movie in general didn't make as much as it should have. You have these terrible movies making... It only made $565 million, which is a crime. It's an absolute crime.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
Off of $290 million budget. Yeah, but not when it comes out in 2023, the same year as some of these like absolute trash movies.
Well, I think that's the year that at least...
It's shameful. 172 million domestically is disgusting.
So wait, I think this is the same year that The Lion King came out, right?
I don't know.
The Lion King made $1 billion at the box office.
Right. And Star Wars Episode 7 is still the highest grossing domestic movie of all time.
Well, because people didn't know till after.
$1 billion more dollars worth of people saw that piece of crap over this. It's incredible. So Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning is probably going to be the best movie of 2025. If it's not, it will be kind of shameful. But everyone needs to get out there and watch this damn movie. Chance of it not being good is 0. Tom Cruise would not let that happen. He actually cares about making movies. The authenticity of Top Gun Maverick, especially, but
still probably rightfully considered probably like the defining movie of the last 10 years or something. Definitely Top Gun Maverick. Like
they taught these people how to fly jets. So
that movie made a record that nobody ever thought could happen, where it's like it topped both Memorial and Labor Day weekend. Yeah, those months or those days are like what, 3-4 months apart. How's a movie going to be the #1 movie for both those months? And it's just like, that's how good Top Gun Maverick was.
Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think. What movies are you checking out? What have you checked out? Are you into Magic the Gathering, Final Fantasy? I'm not into Magic the Gathering whatsoever. I've never owned a card in my life, but I will own some Final Fantasy cards. Anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, I'm looking forward to Mission Impossible. I'll be there too. Who needs sleep?
Yeah. 2 p.m. on a Thursday. They did say there was like a poster they're giving out and all that good stuff, so I can't wait. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you guys later.
Peace.